It's time to get curious and stay open. Today in Yin and Sound, we're okay, it's live still, so you can see what's going on back here. Little Artemis is here. Making it so hard to teach and work. Oh no. Hi. Oh. Okay, you have a toy. You have a toy. But no more squeaking, Tait. Quiet on the set. A little puppy lick to get off here. Okay. We're really starting. It's time to get open and stay curious. Today we're using the practice of Yin Yoga and sound, or crystal singing bowls, to play with this idea of quiet courage. Because the practice of Yin is uncomfortable, we want it to be uncomfortable, we get to practice this, what happens when we're in a position that's physically uncomfortable and then just stay in it. Courage means getting out of our comfort zone, choosing courage over comfort. Courage really takes a little bit of that. It's a little bit scary, it's a little bit hard. And we at Rebel Human, we practice these ideas and embody them. We feel these concepts so that we can really create true change. So this quiet courage. Yin is very slow. We're not moving around. We have to sit in silence and complete stillness with this discomfort. So it's a perfect time to really get to know discomfort, to notice what thoughts come up, what irritations come up, even anger may come up. Do we want to kind of run away, the fight or flight from the discomfort? Or do we want to play dead? Do we go into kind of hypo-arousal and try to retreat from it? All of this is really helpful information and part of the Rebel Human training. So let's get started. Come on to your belly. Resting on your elbows. Elbows are right underneath the shoulders. Big toes touch, heels flop apart. Close the eyes. We want to get into that just right spot, and that Goldilocks position, so that real change is happening in the connective tissues and we feel that little bit of discomfort. So let's start by disengaging all the muscles. So if we want to get at the connective tissue, we have to disengage the muscles. So we're not pushing the feet down into the floor, we're not pushing the knees down, we're softening the hips, letting the hips get heavy and rest down into the floor. Our target area is the low back, so we want to feel that little bit of discomfort in the low back. We're only using a little bit of arm strength to keep us propped here, but everything else in the body is disengaged. All the muscles down the back are soft. We're propped here, the spine hanging like a hammock from head to hips. Now, if you feel like you're not quite at your edge, the sensations in your low back aren't quite uncomfortable yet, or you're even craving some more sensation, then you can push the elbows down into the floor ever so slightly. You'll notice the chest lift a little bit. We're making tiny incremental changes, like tightening braces on teeth. So if you notice that tiny little shift brought you a little bit deeper and you feel a little more sensation in the low back, you can stay here. If you're still craving more, you're not quite at your edge, we're all at different levels, you may want to press down into the hands, beginning to straighten the arms. But remember, this isn't a muscle practice. We're not dealing with muscles, we're dealing with connective tissue, so we really have to think about it like braces on teeth. It's slow, tiny changes held for a long period of time. So if you get into your ego and your stories here and you think, oh, well, isn't bigger better? Isn't more better? And you crank yourself up, straightening your arms, but you're not ready for it. You're not going to get the benefits. We have to be in a position that is sustainable for a long period of time. So that's part of the stuff that we get to look at. Eyes are closed. We get to really feel what's going on here. Let's be with the discomfort in the low back. Notice if you have the urge to fidget, adjust, scratch. Those are all indications we're trying to distract ourselves. So bring all of your awareness to the sensations in your low back, while also noticing that slight, gentle movement of the belly. It's moving with your breath, but we are not changing our breath in this practice. We're not deepening or lengthening our breath. It's very different from other types of yoga. We're just letting the body breathe naturally. So let go of that control. But you're the observer. You're observing the sensations in the low back. You're observing the movement of the belly. Whenever you notice thoughts come in, don't worry. No need to judge. Just gently bring your awareness back to the belly, back to your low back. And just in that continual coming back to these focal points is hard. You can think of it as it takes some courage in the sense that you're getting outside of your comfort zone. It's uncomfortable to continue to refocus your attention. That quiet courage. It'd be way easier just to lay here and let your mind wander, but we're not doing that. We're training. Slowly ease down. Slide the hands back by the low ribs and press yourself up slower than you think you should go. And ease the hips back into child's pose to neutralize the spine, keeping the knees and feet together. If the floor is far away for your head, stack the fists. Rest the forehead on the fist. Notice the shift in sensation in the low back. If there's any remaining discomfort, notice it begin to dissipate. And slowly transition onto your back. Bring the knees and feet together to touch. Knees bent, feet on the floor. Hands rest right over your navel. Let the knees drop open away from each other. The soles of the feet stay together, but we're not pressing them together. And as the knees come down with gravity, if the feet want to slide away from the body, let them do so. We're not using any muscles to try to actively hold the feet in close to the hips. So we're using release of gripping and gravity to guide us into the right spot. As you continue to release tension in the muscles, you'll probably notice some more shifting as you ease into the right spot. With the hands over the navel, you'll notice that slight movement of the belly that's happening with your breath. Again, we're not adjusting the breath, we're not lengthening it, deepening it, we're just letting the body do its thing. If you have open hips, this might not feel like much right away, but trust me, it will get intense. Soft toes, soft hips. We're not trying to hold the knees up. This is one of those poses that you might see in restorative yoga, but in restorative yoga you have pillows under your knees so that you don't get into that uncomfortable space. But we are trying to get uncomfortable here. We have to get uncomfortable in order to see change. Change in the tissues, changes in our lives. Focusing the mind now back to the movement of your hands on your belly. Staying with the discomfort in the inner thighs and the groin. You can think about the belly's movement as if they're waves. So each lift is a crest of a wave, and just like when you watch waves sitting on the beach, you can't control the waves. You're just watching them come in. Some are taller than others. Sometimes there's different breaks between the waves. Sometimes they come quick. Others there are long breaks between. So let's just watch the rise and fall of the belly like we're sitting on the sand watching the waves. Have some awareness of the discomfort again in the inner thighs. You may notice it getting more intense. You're aware and with it without getting distracted by it, without it letting you run away. Staying curious. Sometimes we label discomfort as pain. With our eyes closed, we can carefully discern the difference. There's always a great release, relief, and deep quiet that comes after doing something uncomfortable, doing something hard, doing something a little scary. And I want you to really notice that as we shift out of this and go into Shavasana. Stay in the body, stay with all the sensations, stay curious and notice what you're feeling. Bring the hands to the outside of the thighs and very slowly help the thighs back together. Extend the legs straight, feet flop apart, palms up by your side. Stay in all those sensations. Enjoying these sensations in the body as you listen to the sound of the crystal bowls. Feel free to stay here and rest, but I'll be signing off. Remember, a rebel human is someone who has the strength and clarity of purpose to do the hard thing when it's the right thing. Be well.